What's going on, guys? You know, Los Angeles is bad when the safest part of the city is actually the Hollywood Cemetery. Excuse me, the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Ah, yes. The Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I guess in order for things to be safe, it needs to be placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States Department of the Interior. Whatever that means. I'm just going to be documenting everything along the way. Cool gates. They have interesting entrance gates as you enter. Let's go find some celebrity grave sites. What's going on, guys? Now, I do want to be respectful because it is an actual grave site. It is open to the public, I noticed online. And first impressions, it is literally so much more beautiful than the rest of Los Angeles. Isn't that interesting? So upon entering, I made an immediate left. And I do know that on the map, this road that I'm taking actually hooks around. And there is a famous gravesite that I do know of. It is Toto. And I want to go see that for sure. I know Judy Garland's buried here, Johnny Ramone, tons of other celebrities. So we're gonna have to try to figure out where all those graves are. I'm gonna be using reference photos. And one thing I didn't even realize was a thing till I just got here is there's straight up peacocks. I don't want to upset them too much. Looks like they're fighting each other. They're jumping around, going all crazy. That's insane. How cool is that? I was not expecting that. Look at these dudes. I don't want to make them mad, but they're just jumping around doing their thing. I wonder if they ever release these things. Look at this guy. This guy's pissed. I'm gonna put up his feathers. How cool. That was insane. Yeah, and I don't even know who half these people are, but very, very, very immaculate grave sites. So you know you're in the right spot. I mean, my gosh, starting off, whoever this was has a pretty immaculate grave site. It's all marble, rocks. Looks like the last name was Milton. What does it say? Miltonian? No idea, but they got a massive thing. And then you got an obelisk right over here. Hopefully I'm not stepping on people's graves. It says Griffith. I wonder, is that like Griffith Observatory? Griffith? Harold L. Griffith. Griffith Van M. Oh, snap. Hold up. It totally is. Griffith J. Griffith, born Griffith Jenkins Griffith in the late 19th century, early 20th century. He made a fortune in the Mexican silver mines and Southern California real estate. He's also namesake for the original donor of the land that makes up Griffith Park. So this is his gravesite. He's the one with the obelisk out here. That's crazy. So reading up on this really quick, I didn't really know anything about Griffith or the history of Griffith Park. I guess you kind of figure it's always named after somebody, right? It said Griffith donated the land for the park and provided funds in his will specifically to build the public observatory. He believed that looking through a telescope could change the world, and he wanted to make astronomy accessible to everyone. Great, wonderful. In accordance with his will, the observatory opened in 1935. Cool fact, didn't know that. And has maintained free admission ever since. But he has a complex past. While he is remembered as a major benefactor to the city, his life was marked by controversy. In 1903, he shot his wife in a drunken rage, an incident for which he served nearly 2 years in prison. So the dude only got 2 years in prison for shooting his wife. He must have not killed her, but he definitely shot her. So that must have been Helen L. Griffith, died in 1969. I'm gonna assume Griffith, Van M. These must have been his kids or parents or something. I'll let you do the research on that. But here's the man, the myth, the legend right here. Jenkins Griffith. And there's their obelisk. Look at this grave. Wow, it's amazing to me that people are buried in such immaculate fashion. Marble, granite. William F. Lyons. Check that thing out. It's kind of crazy seeing some are just like headstones in the ground, and then some have like this whole statue for one, and it's all marble and granite, and wow. We gotta go find Toto. That's the one I for sure will know. Well, and I guess Judy Garland too, but Johnny Ramone, I think he's around here somewhere. But that's the thing, I'm gonna have to start looking at some of these reference photos, because I don't really know where to go. And I only got a couple hours. I got here at about 3 o'clock on the dot, and this place closes at 5. So we're gonna be hustling through pretty quickly. I just kind of wanted to come and see this place because I don't think I've ever been here. And I've seen it in videos a bunch, and I know a ton of people are buried here, many of which I don't even know. But one thing I can tell you is this place is, I mean, it's crazy to say, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this, guys. Wow. And to me, that just kind of brings up the question of like, who are all these people? You know, every single one of these people had a story. Somebody knew who they were. This is from 1938, 1913, 1913, 13, no, it's 1913. Bunch of 1913s, and like you have this section over here kind of tucked away in the back corner, which is, I would say, pretty typical of like a cemetery, I guess. You know, you can kind of see the difference in the stones. So 1913 is a mother, Dorothy. But then you have literally across the way something as immaculate. This must have been in this like millions of dollars easily. Like, oh my gosh. You got Mickey Rooney. I know that name. Oh, 2014. That's crazy. No way. I've actually seen some of his movies. Wow, look how young he looks. Wow. Keep walking. I know Toto's right here. Oh my gosh. I found it. This monument is dedicated to the memory of the beloved Toto from 1939 Wizard of Oz. After death of Toto, originally named Terry, in 1945, the owner-trainer Carl Spitz buried the Cairn Terrier on his ranch in Studio City. In 1958, construction of the Ventura Freeway destroyed her resting place. Oh man, so this is just a memorial. Okay, so her Her bones are... She's in the ground. Wow, that's crazy though. But we found it. Toto. I could see another one coming up. I kind of just did a Google search of like the background of a lot of these things, so I don't really know, I don't really have a set path, but stumbled across this one. Johnny Ramone. It's always interesting seeing these things in person. You see them online and you're like, wow, it's a cool little memorial, and you see it in person and it's like breathtaking. Here's another cool looking character, Edmund Simonian. Unique man, exceptionally husband, loving father. Not sure what he did for a living, but I really dig this statue. You know what's crazy? When this lady right here, you can barely see her in the orange, just stops at the corner and starts taking her pants off. That's LA City for you. That's why I said it's crazy to think that the cemetery is the nicest place in LA anymore. Buildings across the street are missing windows. The whole place smells like literal piss. There's no restrooms anywhere. Traffic everywhere. And people are just rude everywhere. I mean, I can understand that the cemetery doesn't have public restrooms, but in actuality, if it's open to the public, you probably should. You know, for one, because I just had to walk 20 minutes in one direction just to find a Chick-fil-A that I remembered the code to the restroom, and then there's only one stall, you know, and the dude in there is clearly on something. And after about like 20 minutes, not even kidding, sitting there waiting for 20 minutes, not saying nothing, I was like, hey, how's it going, blah blah. Someone's in the stall, yeah, we got someone waiting, I don't care. You know, it's like, clearly nobody cares out here. It's so stupid. I hate LA. The only thing good about it is this cemetery. And I guess you could say all the filming locations, but when you come down here, it just smells like piss everywhere, dude. It's disgusting. All right, let's try this again. I only got a half an hour. This place closes at 5. So let's go see what we can find. We're gonna have to come back. There's too much in here to see. I missed this the first time I came in, but upon entering, you got a really nice Rolls-Royce hearse. That thing is so sick. See, that's cool. See, once you get into the actual tourist attraction type stuff, even though this is an actual cemetery, it feels a lot nicer. But the second you step outside these walls, it's like literal hell. Walking towards the back. A lot of Jewish graves over here. I did kind of pick up on this. I never realized this, but in the back is Paramount Studios. I'm almost positive. When I was walking back over here earlier, not gonna lie, I was totally looking for a place like worst case scenario if I had to go to the bathroom. I really didn't want to go in here. And thankfully I did not. That did not happen. But I obviously wanted to take the path less traveled. And I was coming around here and I noticed big buildings on the back. Big buildings. I was like, what the heck are those things? And I believe, well, I mean, they must be sound stages. But right back there, see, I'll try to zoom in to kind of see that bluish, probably white wall. It's part of the sound stage. You can see back here. That's all part of the sound stage. And it backs right up to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I'm honestly just walking back to where Toto was. I know Judy Garland and all those people. Like, there's some, you know, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. I'll have to see if I can find it. And I don't have a lot of time now. But there are some celebrities in here that I do know. And I'm just looking around. I gotta be honest, even though this is in the middle of LA, and LA sucks, it's just awful. I'll give credit where credit is due. The cemetery's pretty nice. Check this grave out. Gotta flip this around. The ground is growing and pushing the headstone. That's creepy, dog. That's creepy. Oh, here's another good little view of the back side of what must be Paramount Studios. Yeah. Let me just double check. Yeah, in fact, I was looking at it on a map, and this is the Paramount sign shop. So they probably have like props and stuff inside there. That's crazy. So many graves, so little time. Yep, I'm gonna have to totally come back here. Saw a few good grave sites. Saw Griffith, saw Toto, saw Mickey Rooney, saw Johnny Ramone. You know, I think that's his name. One of the Ramones. I'm not a big expert on the Ramones, so don't judge me too hard. I know about all of their famous songs, you know, and that's about it. So, you know, wasn't a huge fan. But check this out. I'm walking back to the entrance because my ride's over here. My wife's about to pick me back up, and they got a unused mausoleum. This is unused. Whoa. So this is before. They're gonna have at least 6 coffins in here. Wow, and it's just cement. They just built this up, didn't they? It's just straight up concrete. That's funny, they'll probably put the marble and everything around it afterwards. But I was walking over here, I was like, why is that empty? What in the world? I mean, I guess nobody's in here, so we can just hang out. I've never stood in an empty mausoleum before, and it's very echoey. So we'll just say a little prayer for people that get to rest there and be on our way, you know. If you want to say a prayer, you can, but that is wild. This place is so cool. I will definitely come back to the Hollywood Cemetery. There's also another cemetery that I want to go to that has like Marilyn Monroe, Dean Martin, not Dean Martin. I forget his name now. No, yeah, Dean Martin. I think it's Dean Martin, the singer that used to like sing with Frank Sinatra and everything. Anyways, that says the Getty. I'm just cruising around and there's all these names that I just pick up. I wonder if that has anything to do with the museum. Getty. How many people in LA could have the same last name? It's gotta be Estelle Getty. Maybe not. With love and laughter, Estelle Getty, 2008. Maybe not. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, let me know. But I would not be surprised. And if that's not it, I'm sure there's somebody else. Or I'm sure there's another location where they would be. But yeah, I want to do a full thing on this. This is kind of a recon mission. Only had a little bit of time. Only had a few hours, and then, you know, nature calls and you're in the middle of LA and you got nowhere to go and there's no public restrooms and nobody's helpful and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of makes for a ruined video. But you kind of take the punches, roll with it, and just kind of see what we can make of it. I think we're still gonna drive around a little bit, so I'll get some clips of that. Might not do too much else, but I don't know, just kind of walking and talking, cruising, just cruising. So we'll get out of here. We don't want to be a nuisance, especially if we want to come back. So that's one thing. Even though the rest of the city is dumb, and I really am not a fan. I really just am not a fan of LA. I have lost all faith in this city. So the only thing I'm really holding on to is the history, the people that made this city, in the early years, in the glamorous years, and that's really all I think I hold on to. Otherwise, I got nothing left. I got nothing left for the city. Oh, there it is. There's really quick. There's the famous entrance over there. I just want to see. There's the bunch of hedges. Look at that. Nothing. A whole lot of. Oh, there's another one.